I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Charles Kenneth. I'm the new president of Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry. My term will only be 1 year, um, and we're still also waiting actually for immediate past President Felix to come. Maybe he'll join us later. But since we're all here, I'd like to. The reason why we are sharing this time with you with the media because my term has just started, and then we have some programs that we'd like to share with everyone, and hopefully you in the media can also help us get the word out, because we need everybody's cooperation, because it's been a difficult 2 years, no? Not only for businesses but for everyone. And I've gotten a lot of questions about what can we do with the increases in the price of fuel, and what can we say about even the plight of our workers who also need an increase in their living wages, because the prices of food and everything has gone up. So first, one of our trusts in Cebu Chamber would be to help the businesses who are being badly affected by the typhoon. And one of the ways we've thought about is to conduct business continuity and business resilience planning. So the typhoon caught a lot of us unprepared, and so in cooperation with DTI and the Philippine Disaster Response, we have a training program so that small businesses can be able to respond faster and recover faster in case there's another typhoon, because it has to do a lot of planning and seeing how your operations are going and what should you do in case you don't have power, or in case your workers can get to go to work, and what can you do in this event. So that's one of the ways. And part of that also about with regards to fuel, we expect the cost of power also to go up, and it has already gone up. We've started talks with BECO, and BECO was very cooperative and helpful in giving us advice. And what BECO is saying that right now, they even expect a power shortage to happen come summer. So let's also be prepared for that, and hopefully they can still find a way to mitigate the expected power shortfall. So, but in the meantime, we will help our members. The good thing, if you've heard about the IPIRA law, the IPIRA law will, and also there's that's the one that grants businesses to connect directly to the NTC or to the transmission lines without having to go to get the power through BECO. But BECO we still have to pay BECO's their transmission lines, but at least you will be able, businesses can get their power at a lower cost. And the good thing now, there's what we call the green energy option program. So before, it used to be you have to be a really big power consumer, like 500 megawatts and above. But now our government has made it easier and made the cutoff lower, about 100 megawatts. So businesses now who consumes 100 megawatts to 500 megawatts can avail of this program. And we'd like to share with you some of the suppliers that this is open to everyone, not just chamber members. So there are subsidiaries from Aboitiz, Meralco, like the subsidiary of Aboitiz Power is Prism Energy. So you can, businesses can contact Prism Energy and get a favorable quote, and they can also compare rates. So they can go to Prism, they can go to Vantage Energy Solutions. Vantage is the subsidiary of Meralco. And there's also First Gen. First Gen is owned by the Lopez family. And there's also Vivant Corporation, owned by the Garcias. And there's Kepco, Kratos, and Global Energy Supply. So now, it used to be that we don't have any choice but to buy our power from BECO. Now the consumers have a choice. So hopefully with this choice, with competition, consumers and businesses can save on power, and this can really help them mitigate the increase of because power is going up because of the price of coal. Coal has really more than, the price of coal has more than doubled. So next in our agenda would be the mobilization of champions to pursue advocacy policies, programs, practices that make Cebu more competitive in doing business. And these are the advocacy policies that Cebu Chamber has been pursuing, as earlier mentioned, one of them is power, lowering the cost of power. And now we're working out with the logistics sectors. Some of you may not know, but like for people in the import-export business, because of that, there was a backlog in shipments. So now our ports are full of empty containers. There's not enough goods pulling out, or there's not enough cargoes going out. So that's a struggle now of businesses. So we've also asked OPAB if they can do something about it, talk to the shipping companies to bring the containers outside of Cebu, because right now even all the container yards in Cebu are full of empty containers, to the point that they refuse to accept new containers because there's just no more room to put in. And next on the agenda is we'd like to, in business recovery, one of the ways we can recover quickly is to encourage investments. Because I guess for the last 2 years, businesses have been holding on to their cash. But we are very hopeful that 2022 will be different from 2020 and 2021. Mainly because most of us are already vaccinated, and so I think we're very close to herd immunity, and the virus has already, say, mutated to maybe a less virulent or a less severe strain. So that, I for myself, I was also, I think it was Omicron in the mid-February, mid-January, kuyog sa kutuban mga tao na Omicron. So it was just I wouldn't say mild, but at least you can stay home, you don't have to go to the hospital, and you can recover with just mga over-the-counter medicines. And hopefully that will be the case, and people will be responsible if you were not feeling well. So the best way is to stay home so that you don't spread the virus to other people, especially those who are vulnerable, or even to those who are not vaccinated. And so and part of that, Cebu Chamber has also a project with the Cebu City government to create an investment office, and this investment office will cater to both foreign and local investments. Local businesses who are looking for investors can profile themselves, and we can promote them. And in the same way, it's like an investment matching office, and also we're also hoping to make it a one-stop center, so that if a foreign company wants to invest in Cebu, or even other businesses from other cities would like to come and invest in Cebu, because Cebu is very dynamic and shows a lot of potential. We just met with the investors of New Star. As you know, New Star is the personal investment of the Gokongwei family in SRP. So we're very happy to say that even during the pandemic, they have this business confidence in Cebu. So in spite of the pandemic, their construction was in full swing. So now they're expected to do a soft opening throughout the year, because they have a 3-star hotel, 5-star hotel. There's a water park. There will be gaming, and they have a theater, and I think it's really wonderful to have Gokongwei, as you know, was born and raised in Cebu, and they're coming back and putting a big investment. It just shows their confidence in Cebu's economy. So and then we'd like to we'd also like to enable businesses to be more competitive by upskilling workers to become job ready. Also, and through government industry, and there's also ACAS. We're doing several trainings, and one of these trainings are into food, fisheries. So this is about one of the challenges of people having no work is because they don't have the relevant skills to earn money or to be hired. So it's either, and also they don't have the skills to do their own business. So this way we're encouraging entrepreneurship, and even we also have this like Dream, right? No?
Yes.
So Dream is there were IT workers who lost their jobs, and so we're also training them so that they can, as you know, during the pandemic, the e-commerce was the big thing. So we trained them so that they can go into e-commerce, and instead of looking for a job, they can create their own business. Next is about one of the main pillars of Cebu Chamber. This is which is what we call the Cebu Business Mobilization. This is the I forgot earlier to introduce our team, so maybe afterwards. Sorry. So wala kasunod ang agenda. But anyway, so we'll go back to that later. I'll introduce the team later. Then the CBM is also about working together with government. As a business organization, we work closely with DTI, DOT, even the BFAR and other government agencies, even also including the DICT, which we have upstairs. So these are the various initiatives of the chamber and the government to promote business. And lastly, this is the as earlier we talked about vaccination, and since as you know, we're on alert level 2, and I think some of our regions are going to alert level 1. Hopefully the entire Cebu will be going to alert level 1. So maybe if through the media we can also encourage our senior citizens, because actually that's as explained by Dr. Loreche, that's the only thing that's keeping us from going to level 1, because some of our senior citizens are not yet vaccinated. So maybe the barangays can do a house-to-house program, because I think maybe some of them are still afraid to go out. But because we really have to protect the vulnerable of our population. So and another issue we'd like to help in the ease of transition is especially our BPOs. As during the pandemic, the BPOs were working at home, but now they're already asked to come back to work. Then they have a problem because of alert level 2. We have our immediate past president, Mr. Takyang. Thank you for coming. I already told them that you'll be coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, even as past president, he's still very busy, and he's also still very active, and I'm glad he's still supporting, because I'll also be looking to him for guidance and his support. So I was just talking about that our meeting yesterday with the BPO, that
Yes.
BPO is
the BPO.
requesting that because they're only allowed 50% capacity, one seat apart. So the BPO said, how can they cannot not all their workers can come back to work with that arrangement. So they're asking if they can do an exemption, because most of all of their workers are vaccinated. So there's very little risk of transmission when they're all vaccinated. So that's something that we will be asking the IATF if we're still on alert level 2. But if we go to alert level 1, that's automatic. They can already be 100%. Yes. So since so I'd like to introduce our team. That's all for my leadership agenda. So now our team. Actually, as immediate past president, Mr. Felix Tabyang still sits in the board with us, and to my left is our executive director, Edie May. She has been with us, and she has always been our guiding light. Because as you know, like us, the presidents, you have a past president, the president, and next year there will be another president. But hopefully, our ED will still be here for Cebu. And next to her is Joy. So Joy is with Chamber Growth. Joy is also handling our membership division and our sister chambers. Like we have sister chambers in Bantayan, Cordova, and Balamban.
Danao, and Naga.
Danao and Naga, yes. Also, then we have LP. LP is with business development. She is the one handling, the one I earlier told you about the business resilience and business continuity and our other trainings and seminars. And investments will be also under LP. And our Queen of CBN is Maribel Melgar. I'm sure most of you are familiar with her. And Maribel's job is not just about the CBN, it's not just about the exhibits. That also includes the other facets, which are the industry stakeholders and doing focus group discussions and listening to them and trying to figure out how we can help our different industry stakeholders. And did I forget anyone? So, and earlier you've also met Jovit. Jovit is with the executive office, and at the same time he's also helping out with Maribel with CBN and Jasriel. Jasriel is also with business advocacy. And what else? Yes, the power is also under. So earlier I told them about the power where our businesses can connect directly and get lower power rates. So that's my short introduction of what the chamber plans to do. And we also want to hear from you, because the chamber doesn't know everything, and maybe you guys have also something in your mind that you'd like the chamber to do or help with. We are very much willing to listen. So you can open the floor if you have something like that. Eda, yes.
Saka. Kani pagpatuman yun sa kanaga prices mga commodities, sa kalitunan ni coordination or agi pa mo sa DTI or sa mga proseso or dunay pagpahibaw sa mga konsumidor? Anong bigay pakalitan?
Are we talking about fuel or other products?
The prices of the basic commodities.
There's a meeting now in City Hall about the price control. Well, in the City Hall now, there's another meeting already about the mayor called for a meeting of all sectoral agencies and chambers also involved to be in the meeting, which is ongoing now, which I am supposed to be there also. It's regarding the price control monitoring board from the city's committee and through the DTI also. So we know everything has been rising. The only thing is we have to control the rise. Now, if fuel price increases, it's inevitable that something will always goes up. This is a supply and demand thing. So what we need to do is, we hope traders will be more sensitive na they don't really spike everything. No? Although we understand we need to buy materials from the foreign countries, from worldwide supply, bring it in and manufacture here. All we only need is a coordinated effort from all the manufacturers to lessen the sudden impact. That is what we are preventing. We like to help, but there are things that is beyond our control. It's a matter of supply-demand product.
May I add something? Actually, this is not a chamber initiative. It actually is from the Department of Finance. If you've heard that our fuel imports has a VAT component. So the Department of Finance is recommending to lower the VAT, but that
Excise tax.
Excise tax, yes. That needs approval from Congress.
Actually, it's already in. There was a part of that excise thing that the government has if the DOE is going to implement, I hope they will implement soon, because part of the excise tax is if the dollar of, if per barrel of oil hits 90, the excise tax is going to be suspended for a while. But we have to wait, we have to see if it will really happen. It's already part of that law, but we need to see long term if the government will really remove that part, no? Because the excise tax is very high. I know it's very high. It's only 8 to 9 pesos, if I'm not wrong, or a percentage based na siya. So what we need is we, the consumers and the chamber, will always help in making position papers and coordination with the proper authorities high above also through the help of our Philippine chamber.
So at the moment, considering na kasi natin na more than 2 years sa pandemic, sundan sa debt, and now is the oil price hike, kumusta ang business climate sa Cebu?
Well, that's a very tricky question. So far, what we see before the war started, you know, we have been picking up things already, and we're so happy that the mayor already declared the Oplan Kagawasan. No? Now, the Oplan Kagawasan is a EO that is open up to all businesses already. Now, the thing that is happening in Europe now, the war is just came out of it. No, though we have been hit by pandemics and pandemics. We don't like these things to happen, but it happened, and the Russia Ukraine is an external thing that is beyond our control also. So we really hope that we will just say be careful enough that we don't want to create a bad impact also. No? The businesses has been going on since after Odette, since after the rehab, when the power was back, water was back, businesses was climbing already. So we want to see it through lang, that's it. No? We hope it will, though we heard a lot of saying a lot of other factors are involved. No? We cannot just specify on one item.
So still recovering, the state is still recovering.
There's still a state of recovery. We are state of recovery, and our rehabilitation, like in the chamber, we have been having our programs like the barangay-based mentorship program. We have to alleviate the MSMEs na instead of being kept inside, we want them to come out again, no, to help the economy. Because if they don't come out, there's no movement of goods. The ripple effect, as I always say, is very big, very great.
One last issue is
Yeah.
One last issue, sir. Regarding sa move karon sa labor sector, they are asking wage increase sa business sector. Ano naman, kaya pa din yun? Kaya ba?
Yeah, I was also asked the same question. So, my answer is the pandemic has affected different businesses differently. You know, so we have some winners and we have some laggards, and I would say the winners should be able to be, as our past president said, sensitive also to the needs of our workers. You know, those who can afford should also. I think our work, without our workers, the businesses wouldn't survive. No, and our workers have sacrificed their a lot in the last 2 years. No, so the last 2 years we've seen how they survive even working 3 days, 4 days a week. No, so I think a lot of businesses try to keep as many workers as possible without firing them. And I think this is also about time that businesses who can afford it should also give relief also to our deserving workers. But let's be also practical. There are businesses, especially in tourism, food, businesses who weren't able to operate during the pandemic. These businesses have suffered tremendous losses. No? The capital that these entrepreneurs have put in basically been wiped out, and even those who have suffered through the typhoon have also suffered big losses because they have to also do some rebuilding. So I think it would be a case to case, and businesses and workers have to conduct a dialogue, because it's not the same for everyone. And I'd also like to add, our local government, Cebu City, and we also hope the other LGUs will also follow, because businesses who have been badly affected, we would also look, request for a tax relief from our government, because when it comes to taxation, our tax collection bureau would always like to have a bigger collection, because the government also needs the funds for the different programs. No? But yes, there are businesses who have suffered, and they have to show that they really are suffering and or are not making money, so that they can avail of some of this tax relief program, so that these businesses can recover. Because otherwise, their option would be to close, and I think that would be worse for the business and worse for the workers who would have to lose their jobs. So as you said, this is the year of recovery, but I'm very optimistic, no? For 2022, that we can. Cebu has, even through that, showed a very strong Bayanihan spirit. The New Star investors staff were from Manila, and they said, "Wow, after 2 months, we did not expect that Cebu can already." You go out, you don't see the devastation left by that. So I really kudos to everyone who helped clean up and who helped in the recovery, and especially our government workers who work really 24 hours just to clean up our city. And even with even with Beco and the other Sebecos, they've done a great job restoring power. So I was even expecting power not to be restored for 2 months, but I think they were, although some of the remote areas are not yet restored, but at least in the city, I think within a month's time, the most power was restored in the main in our Metro Cebu area.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of